guys, and welcome to another episode of Make It Monday with me, your host, Laura Buechler of Inkyfingers Papercrafting, here with you live to show you and to talk to you about how creativity is fun, creativity is good for us, and creativity is for everyone. Yes, absolutely everyone. I am so excited to be here with you today. As always, I feel like today we should call this Mayhem Monday because I have a feeling things are going to get a little chaotic in here. But, let's just roll with it. Creativity sometimes gets messy. It sometimes gets a little chaotic. And that's okay. We can deal with it. So shout out where you're from in the comments. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And let me know what kind of creative stuff you've been doing lately. I would love to hear about it. Don't forget to stick around till the end of the video. We are going to be giving away one of these fabulous cards that we made last time on Make It Monday, which was 2 weeks ago already. It was a stat holiday last week here in BC. Here's our pal Stevie, come to take those away. And Stevie will be back at the end of the video to tell us who won. All right, so this is the card that we're making today. And to start off with, I made it in 5 colors. Does anybody know what these 5 colors collectively are called? I'll name them for you. How about that? This one is called Secret Sea. This one is called Strawberry Slush. This is Timid Tiger. This is Darling Duckling. Isn't that cute? And this is Cloud Cover. All right. What are these colors called when they're all together like this? I'll give you a moment to think about that. Mark, you've been spring cleaning. Do you feel like spring cleaning is a creative endeavor? I would love to hear your viewpoint on that. Okay, let's get started with making this card. I'm going to actually be making the Timid Tiger card because I feel like this beautiful orange, and I don't want to call it a bold orange. It's kind of a little bit of a subdued orange, I feel. I feel like this one is going to get missed a lot of times when we look at these 5 colors, which, by the way, friends, these are the in colors, the 2025 to 2027 in colors. So they will be with us for 2 years, and then they will rotate out to be replaced by 5 beautiful new colors. So here they are again. As I said, Timid Tiger is the color of card we're going to make today because I feel like orange is maybe not a color that people gravitate towards, but I really like it. I like this, what do you call it? I just like this shade. It's kind of, like I said, a little bit subdued. It's not too bright. It's not too bold. It's not over the top, but it's cheerful and inspiring nonetheless. Okay, where am I starting? I'm getting too wrapped up in how much I love color and how much I love reading your comments. Let's zoom this out so that we can do some 3D embossing on the embossing machine. I've got the Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder. Hey, Maury. Oh my gosh, it's so nice to see you, pal. I've been missing you. Notice that when I'm putting in my cardstock here, I'm not going straight up and down. I'm going offset or akimbo, just kind of to give it a different effect. Okay, Mark says, yes, spring cleaning is creative. You got to keep your projects current and pass materials on to others who might use them when you aren't going to. Clutter clogs the brain. Oh, my friend, I so agree with you on that. Clutter definitely clogs my brain. It is so hard to be creative when things are just messy around you. And yeah, I agree. Now, when you're in the middle of being creative, it often gets very messy, as it might today. But yeah, when you're starting creativity, you want your space to be tidy, organized, where you can find things, right? Okay, so here's the result of embossing with that Forever Plaid folder with it akimbo. Isn't that cool? And you can choose which side you want to use because they both look amazing. Maury loves the Timid Tiger the most, even before I said anything. Well, that's really fun. I love that. Okay, I'm going to do some die cutting on these here. But for this, I'm just going to use my little mini machine. Okay. Oh, yeah. Maury, you got to come out and if you can't come to a crafting class, we just need to go for coffee or something because it's been way too long. Okay, I'm going to start with the white. What I've got here, I don't think I even grabbed the whole die set, but these are two of the Textured Notes dies. These come in a set where the whole die set is rectangles, and they all have different patterns on them. So they're very cool die sets. And speaking of that, Textured Notes is one of the bundles that my... that was a sound. Let's see. My collaboration group did a virtual class on Textured Notes a little while ago. So let's pop this in here. Yes. Okay, so if you are interested in taking a virtual on-demand class featuring the Textured Notes bundle, it features, I think, 16, maybe 15, somewhere in the teens, fabulous video projects. So step-by-step video instructions, all the what am I trying to say? The measurements, all the measurements are included, and you get to make either 14 or 15 or 16 fabulous projects with that Textured Notes bundle. So that is for sale on my website, inkyfingers.ca/on-demand, to check that out. And the whole bundle is, the whole tutorial bundle is $41, which is a heck of a deal for that many video tutorials. And of course, being an on-demand class, you can follow that through at your leisure, in your craft room, using your own supplies, your own tools, and you'll have everything you need to make all the projects. So that's a pretty cool thing that I've been offering lately. Okay, so here are my pieces. Now I'm going to do some stamping. These are, let's see, this stamp is from the Textured Notes bundle. This stamp, which says thanks, I think is from the Spotlight on Nature. And let's see, I don't need to use my Stampin' Pierce mat because this is a red rubber stamp. It's not a photopolymer. It might be wise to put some grid paper or other scrap paper underneath where you're stamping in case you make a boo-boo, in case you make a mess. I'm going to live on the edge and not do that. Okay, just want to make sure you can see where I'm stamping. This is a really, really pretty stamp because, as you can see, it's just got these little spots where it's like there's light hitting the branches or the leaves of this plant. So it's not all just one solid color. So that looks fabulous. Okay, now this is where it might get a little chaotic, because what I want to do with this little rectangle is I want to heat emboss it with my Versamark and my white embossing powder and my heat embossing tool. And why that's going to get chaotic is I've got to move the camera, and I'm not even totally sure what I'm going to need to do to get it into position to record that video. So here's what I suggest is close your eyes in case you get seasick. I don't want anyone to get seasick. And I'll tell you when it's safe to open your eyes again, okay? I'm going to move the camera. I'm going to flip it around. We're going to come over here to this other space. It doesn't totally reach where I want it to, but okay, safe to open your eyes again. Everything still looks right side up. That's excellent. So what I've got is my little rectangle, and I've got my various tools that I'm going to need to emboss. So first of all, my embossing buddy. I've got Versamark ink. I've got a little paintbrush. You'll see why I need that in a moment. And I've got a spoon, as well as my handy dandy heat tool. and my tray. I might not use all of these things, but that's okay. It just occurred to me, of course, I don't have my beautiful ring light over here on this side of the desk, but that's okay. Now, I want to talk to you first about embossing. And then when I actually turn on the heat tool, it's a little bit noisy, so I'm going to mute myself. So what I want to do, first of all, is use the embossing buddy on the little rectangle. The reason for that is just to take away any static and any of the oils from my hands so that this is as non-sticky as it can possibly be. Next, I'm going to ink up my stamp with the Versamark ink. And I do that just as if it were an ink pad. And then I'm going to stamp on my little rectangle. Now you can't really see it, right? It doesn't look too exciting. That's what's called a watermark stamp. You can barely see it. But we're going to make it exciting by putting embossing powder on it. Now the embossing powder should only stick to where I've stamped. It shouldn't stick anywhere else. So I'm going to apply lots of embossing powder there, and then I can tap it off into the tray. The tray captures all that powder for me, and then let's have a look. That looks pretty good. Now I see, actually I've done a pretty swell job here. If there were any spare bits of embossing powder, I could just use the paintbrush to brush them off, but there aren't. It looks just fine. Okay, so I'm going to put the lid on my embossing powder and take this tray and put it off to the side. Okay, I'm getting close now to the part where I'm going to turn on the heat tool, and once I do, you'll see me just putting the heat tool in one spot at a time, waiting until that embossing powder changes, and you'll see it change. It will get really shiny, and it will look shiny and glossy, I guess is what I'm going to say. And then I'm going to move to the next spot, and it's going to keep changing. Okay, so let me mute my volume, and we'll get on with embossing. Look at that. Doesn't that look great? Okay, I'm going to move my camera back to the other zone. So close your eyes. I don't want you to get seasick. Let's move that camera. Woo, spinning around. It's like we're on a roller coaster. Oh, there we go. Back to where we started. Amazing. So here's the bits of our card. Here's the bits of here's the bit that we embossed. And we need some ribbon, and we need some embellishments, and we need to assemble this card. It's coming together, folks. The mayhem has not been too present. Okay. So, oh, Samantha, you bought the Timid Tiger on your last order. Very nice. So I picked a good color. That's awesome. All right, so what I have here is a little piece of the In Color Designer Series paper. Let me show you this package. This is really fun. So I think I've talked before about the color families and how there are, where am I going? There I go. Okay. So there are different color families. There's regals and in colors we've been talking about today, and brights and subtles and neutrals. And every year for each color family, Stampin' Up! Comes out with a fabulous little pack of 6x6 designer series paper that you can buy. You can get a whole assortment of each family, and it's always going to have these 4 different patterns. Whatever the patterns are for that year, that's what it's going to have. So this year's patterns are the leaf pattern, this really cool like watercolor stripes pattern, this kind of wash pattern, and some flowers. So I've got those for each of the in colors, and you can get them for any color family that you choose. So that's what I'm using today. As you can see, I always go on and on about Stampin' Up's color coordination, right? So we've got the Timid Tiger paper with the Timid Tiger cardstock, and then the Timid Tiger ink, and then the Timid Tiger ribbon, and we're going to have Timid Tiger embellishments added at the end for a fabulous monochromatic card. Okay, let's get to the assembly. I'm going to start with putting on this DSP. Do I want the flowers or do I want the wash? I'm going to try the flowers. So there. Oh, Suzanne loves this color too. Awesome. So looking at, I'm going to spread them out here, looking at the other in colors, what other in color would you choose to make a card from? Assuming that you've already made one from Timid Tiger, which we are doing today. I'm going to take some ribbon and wrap that across the center of the designer series paper. So I like to just easily attach those ends at the back, like so, and then wrap it around and then cut. Navy blue. Okay, so this navy blue color, Samantha, is called Secret Sea. Although I keep wanting to mess up and call it Secret Sky, but it's Secret Sea. Isn't that cool? Under the water. Secret Sea. I love it. Okay, so this part, so I'm going to go ahead and attach that to the card. I see that I hope my audio is not lagging too. That must be very aggravating for everyone. Okay, I'm going to take this piece that we stamped and I'm going to put this on with dimensionals. Oh, Suzanne says they are all vibrant and versatile. You're so right. I love them. And there's something about all 5 of the colors together that even if you don't like an individual one, when you see them all together, you're like, ah, it just feels good. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. I guess it's because Stampin' Up's color designers know what the heck they're doing. They know how to create beautiful colors that people are going to love, that just make us feel good when we use them, right? Okay, so that's going to pop on there. And then we have this little piece here that we heat embossed. Did y'all learn something about heat embossing today, by the way? I don't do heat embossing on video very often, so I hope you enjoyed the demonstration. Now for this, I want this to overlap on my my other rectangle here. So what I want to do is put a dimensional on one side and just put some adhesive on this other side so that it's going to overlap. And I can put that kind of however I want it to be, wherever I want. I get to decide. I'm going to put it right down here. So that's my card. Now there's one more thing I need to do that is mandatory. That's embellishments. And there's one thing that is optional. And I see I have not done a great job of leaving myself space to do this. But if I wanted, I could put some ribbon through there and tie a little knot, which I did on this one. Our beautiful Secret Sea. I did that. I think I did that on all of these. So I put a little just a little knot around the ribbon, and that just adds some extra texture. But I'm not going to do that today because I left myself very little space to do it. Okay, so I am going to put my embellishments on because we love our bling, right? Okay, I like them more than the last few years, even though the other years were good. They really hit the mark this year. I totally agree. They really did. Okay, there we go. Put that there. Put that there. There's our finished card. And remember, if you'd like a chance to win this card, you can just go ahead and share the video. Make sure you leave a comment below that you've shared, because Facebook doesn't always tell me who shared. And then you might win this fabulous Timid Tiger card that I will give away in next week's video. Speaking of which, what do you think we should do for next week's video? I'm super keen for your suggestions. I haven't made up my mind yet, so feel free to leave a suggestion in the comments, and maybe I'll choose your idea. I'm always up for some suggestions, right? Okay, so I'm just tidying up my desk while I get myself sorted out here. And then we're going to bring Stevie back on to give away a card from last week. Okay. All right, Stevie, come on over here. Now, last week, well, 2 weeks ago, we had a mix-up Monday, right? I think was suggested by Mark that we did kind of the same elements on 2 different cards, one a portrait and one a landscape card. So I'm very happy to say, Stevie, tell us who won. Kathy! Yay! Kathy P. Congratulations. Drop me a message and let me know which of these cards you would like, the landscape one or the portrait one. And I will be popping that in the mail to you. Thank you so much, everyone who's watching, whether you watch live or on the replay. Don't forget to share that video, and don't forget to check out all the great stuff that you can find on my website, inkyfingers.ca. You'll find more project tutorials, my events calendar, and the catalogs, and the sign up for my email newsletter. Have a great day, everyone, and don't forget to spend some time getting creative, and I'll see you next time on Make It Monday. Bye!